Yeah. About 30. Do they have a second charger?
Yeah, it's the one Dad gave you. It's like 26 cents. Yeah. I'll probably literally go and die so I don't want to. It's just died.
Oh. Literally died. We don't have another phone charger. Hello, person.
We're live.
I am live, yeah. It's weekday lives, everyday lives until Smoke Sesh 420 comes on. Hey, people. Welcome in. I don't know how much music I'll be playing on this one because I've just been playing a load of music on TikTok and X and I'm a bit burnt out. 420 is coming. Woo! Milkshake Starberry, hello. That's a cool name. Is that a strain name? Oh, I can vape on this one as well. Hello, Mango 420. Shiva. I am good, yeah. I'm chill. I'm cool. How are you doing, Milkshake Starberry? Such a cool name. I mean, Mango 420 is also a cool name, but yeah. Milkshake Starberry, never seen you here before. Welcome in. Have you been watching my videos? Are you coming to 420? Nice to hear that. Maybe I will do some music just to get us started off. I'm going to do the one I was doing earlier on, which lasts for ages, but is quite satisfying. Oh, in the wrong tuning. What do I mean by 420 is coming? This is a cannabis related channel, so 420 day is the 20th of April. It's a cannabis festival protest. Thanks for the compliments as well. Yeah, that was all right. You hate me. I hate you. You hate me. Don't hate. You dropped your doobie. I give fruits. Welcome in. And Caleb is the best. Welcome in too. Haven't seen you here before. It was worth it. Oh, I hope you weren't like, you're literally rolling it and the stuff went everywhere. That's terrible when that happens. You know, just spills all over the carpet or whatever, and you have to pick out the tiny bits and then shove them back in and try and get rid of the fluff. Subscribed. Woo! Thank you. Carpet ate it with the Tights and Hoover method. You won't. With the Tights and Hoover. Tights. How do you use your tights to pick up weed off the ground? I just subscribed. Hooray. Well, you got lots of interesting content to catch up on. It's interesting and varied, and some bits are funny, some bits are educational, informative. Some of it's just my opinion, you know, just sort of trying to come up with some takes, you know, like a take, snapshot, a little nugget, a nugget of weed lore. But I must say, I'm not exactly the most connoisseurial of weedos. I don't really know anything about strains compared to some of the other people out there. So, hey Viking, hello there. Roberto Sartori, sorry, welcome in. Hey Viking indeed. Is anyone on TikTok? Nick Francis, hello there. Is anyone here on TikTok? It's kind of like a TikTok YouTube rivalry going on, I think, at the moment between shorts and TikToks. Nope. When does the petition end? May the 20-something. So yeah, there's petitions available. Thank you for asking. The petitions are available. Where can you find them? You can go find them at the top of my channel page to sign. Yeah, so you go Cannabis Petitions UK on Google and Cannabis Petitions come up and you can sign them if you want to. And I recommend that you do so that we can get as many people on there as possible. And if it gets to 10,000 signatures, it will force a response from the government. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning it. Where am I from? I'm from England. London, England. That's why I sound like I've got a Southern English accent. Bing, ding, ding, bang. Where are you from, Josh? Okay, what's your opinion on legal cannabis from a private GP? Yeah, private doctors. Yeah, what's my opinion on it? Go for it, man. If you can get it, go for it. It's fairly good quality from what I understand. There's occasional bad quality bits, but it's supposed to be, pretty top-notch quality. The price is all right. Check out medbud.wiki for that information if you need more information about it. There's loads of different clinics out there. Yes, I'm in London, yeah. So what's your opinion on legal cannabis? Yeah, I think if you can get it, you need to apply for your eligibility, as in you need to go through an eligibility check on one of these clinics' websites. And if you're eligible, then yeah, marvelous. It's a good way of getting what you need for the medicine, for your conditions. It's just a shame they haven't extended it to recreational use, So it looks like they're a bit kind of cautious or scared of cannabis in general, but they don't mind it as a medicine. Is that what you mean, Josh? What do you mean? I can't get it myself because I don't have the right requirements. So yeah, what's your opinion on it, Josh? Medbud.wiki is the name of the place, the name of the website for medical cannabis information. Medbud.wiki. Boom. Okay. So there you go. Now you know. There's lots of different clinics that do it, like Alterna-Leaf, Curaleaf, Welford, Manmedica, Montu, is that a thing? So yeah, happy to direct people onto legal cannabis from a private doctor. They're not general practitioners though; they're specialist doctors. So they're not GPs when you go private. They're specialist cannabis doctors who are learned in this subject, supposedly anyway, trained in cannabis medicines. There's also a long list of medical conditions that you can have that qualify for medical cannabis. So it does work for lots of different conditions, especially pain, epilepsy, depression, anxiety, PTSD, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, cancer-related pain, migraines, chronic pain, nausea from chemotherapy, loads of stuff. So it is available. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Josh, what you're saying there, you're right. You're absolutely right. One thing I hate is that the government says it's a gateway drug. As a cannabis user myself, I don't think that's correct. Yeah, you're right. It's not correct. It's not a gateway drug. It's actually been studied to see whether it is a gateway drug or not, and they found in some studies that people, on average or in general overall, don't go onto harder substances. They stay with cannabis. They're quite satisfied with cannabis. It doesn't lead to other drugs. What they say is that the black market is why you get the gateway effect because of the dealers. Dealers are the gateway to other substances, not the substance itself. So yeah, it's been debunked as a myth that it's a gateway drug, but some people still believe in it. Not trying to be weird, but how old are you? I am 39. How old are you? Caleb is the best. Are you really the best? Who's the biggest stoner in the world? Yeah. Snoop Dogg. You're 9. You got to go, man. What are you doing here? Nine. Hi, I'm bi. You what? He outsmoked Snoop. Yeah, I heard that. So Willie Nelson's got the biggest stoner title. Josh, I haven't seen you on here before, I don't think. So, how's it going? How did you find me? Oh, you're back, right? I am back. It's a good thing I didn't go off and talk about bisexuality there for a while, isn't it? I'm back. Back, babies. Yeah, Josh, how are you getting on in life? Are you smoking a doobie? Smoking a doobie. All right. You're new. Wicked. Strolling through life, spreading love. You renegade gangster, you. Awesome. Do you watch Drew is Sharing? Packing your bowl, eh? Good stuff. Mango 420, how are you doing? It's a shame he's gone off to Thailand, isn't it? I mean, it's good for him, obviously, but it's a bit of a shame for us. We've lost a major being from the UK scene. Thanks. Yeah, I'm all right. It's a lot easier to play guitar on an electric guitar, I must say. If I had my Fender Telecaster, ooh, that was so nice to play. Hold on. 43%. You can have it now if you want. Cheers. Everyone rips away. Are they bass strings? No. They're just guitar strings. But they've got special lining on them, like an overcoat on them that makes them a bit brighter than the average strings. Whoa, there's weed in my guitar there. Secret weed down there, look. Ooh, that was interesting. Bam, bam. That messed up. My bong is Rick and Morty themed, and I call it the Jerry Rig. I've been playing for like a load of years, man. So I'm 39 now. Started playing when I was 13. Actually started playing when I was 10. Yeah, I started playing when I was 10, so that's 29 years. But I took a big break for like 3 years when I didn't play it at all. So I lost all my skills. Yeah, some of my skills. Do you play as well, Josh? That's a new one that's coming along. So you had a go at school and it didn't go well. Oh no. Some people don't have the right kind of fingers for it, you know. It's just, I don't know, fat fingers, stubby fingers, difficult fingers, chubby fingers, stiff fingers that don't work very well. So some people do find it hard to play guitar even when they're young. They might find it better on bass or piano or keyboards. Oh, strummed too hard and the strings snapped. That can be scary when that first happens to you. You know, when the string first snaps on you, it can be scary. Josh, are you going to 420 in London? Oh, you're in Scotland. Okay. Is there anything up there for you? I swear there's something going on in Scotland, isn't there? No, someone told me yesterday that there's nothing they know about in Scotland, actually. So tough gig. Go all the way down to London for that. It must be somewhere nearer to you though, isn't there? Not you heard, yeah. Fair enough. Oh well. Sitting at home ripping the bong then, is it? Or going out to a park? There might be people in your local park, you never know. Just waiting to be arrested. Josh, can you tell me a bit about the law in Scotland? How it has it been decriminalised in Scotland? Weed. So I've heard something along those lines that something like the Scottish government has deprioritised it or something. So they haven't like officially decriminalised it, but they've deprioritised it, meaning that they're not going to go after people who have got small amounts on them or doing personal grows. I heard something about that from Scotland. So have you heard anything about that regarding a kind of on the surface decriminalisation or done by police commissioners? It's just something I heard, but I don't know how that's actually panned out. They moved it down from a Class B to a Class C drug. That's all I've heard. What, in Scotland? I'll have to check that out. Check that out. Well, that did happen a long time ago. They moved it down from Class B to Class C in 2005 until 2009. So we had 4 years of it being as a Class C drug, but it's gone back to Class B in the UK, as far as I know. I didn't know that anything in Scotland. But yeah, that happened in the UK like from 2005 to 2009. But it's gone back to Class B now. Haven't kept up to the news. Okay. I saw some good news about medical cannabis saving someone's life, apparently, or changing their life because it really helps with their symptoms for their medical condition. So there's been some good news about that in like local newspapers, it seems to be, rather than main national newspapers. But if you type in medical cannabis news on Google, you'll come up with some good positive news stories about how medical cannabis is helping people. So there's some good journalism going on around it at the moment. Well, if you subscribe to my channel, then if any relevant news comes up, I will post it up on my channel as a video. So if you want to keep up with the cannabis related news, then subscribe if you haven't already. But that's for anyone as well. I do cannabis news as well as my advocacy. So obviously I talk about cannabis as to being why I think it should be legalized in lots of different ways. And then I also talk about news. I do jokes.
I have a question.
Skits. Information. Yeah.
Does being stoned have similar effects in the same way, like, how do I word this, to alcohol, but in the context of, like some people, when they're like completely drunk, they'll suddenly find somebody that's not their type or not very attractive. They'll suddenly find them attractive and they might get with them because they're drunk. Or they say the truth comes out when you're drunk, but does it apply if you're high or stoned? Do you suddenly find mediocre or to even not so attractive people suddenly really?
You mean like beer goggles or stoned goggles?
Yeah, like does it affect the way you see people's attractiveness? And then what happens when it wears off? Do you wake up and realize you maybe spent time with somebody that looks like not so good? Trying to refrain from saying any not so nice analogies.
Don't know if you can see that. This product contains nicotine, which is a highly addictive substance.
Why are you not showing up?
Someone asked me, is that THC vape or just nicotine? It's just nicotine, my bro. So what do we think? Hello to the lady in the room, says Josh. So hello to the lady in the room. What do we think? Does cannabis give you beer goggles? Weed goggles?
Is that what you call it? Beer goggles?
Beer goggles, yeah. When you're out drunk and you find people who aren't attractive more attractive, they're called beer goggles. Is there such thing as weed goggles? I don't think so.
I mean, it depends on the context as well, because like people might self-medicate for all sorts of reasons that has nothing to do with you, like past trauma or abuse or something. But for instance, with my first relationship, I actually didn't know he was into, the green stuff. I mean, I knew he was a hippie, but I didn't really care or paid attention. He was like a smoker, but a social smoker in the context of, mixing it with, well, green stuff.
You can say weed on
Can I
my.
actually
This
say
is
it?
YouTube, so you can say cannabis,
Okay, right. I get
weed,
so confused. So,
green.
and it was illegal then. So I didn't care though. I mean, it's just in the same way. Do I really care if somebody's dead set on getting a drink at a pub and they're not quite 18? Like, why would I care? I mean, if it's, I don't know, that's their lifestyles, even if it's not legal or whatever. But so maybe it's part of the whole rock and roll thing as well. I don't know. And I've never been able to wrap my head around it, but they needed to be high constantly to be around me and throughout most of the duration of the relationship. And then they broke up when they tried to go off like weed for a bit, and they tried to stop eating meat, even though I wasn't vegetarian. So they just gave themselves all these stacks of standards that I didn't really care about, probably assuming that I too would be vegetarian or vegan and like would be into that. But I really wasn't. My entire family were vegetarian, but that was for health reasons a long time ago. So I've been vegetarian, I've been vegan, and blah blah and whatever. But it's not for that. It's never been for social reasons. I never disclosed that information. So I've always been a bit confused where I've had, actually, now that I think back on it, 2 or 3 relationships. I haven't actually had loads of relationships where every single time somebody starts smoking, then they mix weed with it, then they break up with me because they can't get their fix or something, and people could say, well, that's just relationship problems, or that's just trauma or unresolved childhood trauma. It probably is, most likely is, but it's really hard not to take it personally. When every single breakup was always around them trying to stop smoking or trying to stop smoking weed, and then they break up with me, and then I feel like I'm the cause of all their weird habits, and they act like 2 different. So it's more than one relationship that's happened.
Favorite strain again, yeah. So people ask me this a lot, and
it drives me nuts.
I have to keep coming back with the same thing. I don't really have a favorite strain anymore.
Favorite strain?
Yeah, I used to have Stardog. Stardog was actually my favorite strain for a while because it gave me a lot of creative ideas and stuff. Haven't had Stardog for ages. I don't know. I think I just prefer sativas over indicas. That's the main thing for me. And if it's strong enough to get me high, then I'm pleased with it. I'm not a big taste person. I like certain tastes, but I don't know what they are really. I don't know how to describe it to people. I like a kind of earthy taste that tastes like weed when I was back in high school type of flavor. Tastes like earthy, I think is the right way to call it. But yeah, so I don't have a favorite strain. I'm not really a big strain type of connoisseur. Like I'm not like Drew or I know on the medical you get to try lots of different strains and stuff. I just haven't tried that many strains, and the ones I do is just kind of like, yeah, I don't mind them all. They're all good as long as it's green. It's not CBD, preferably sativa, and I'm happy, man. So yeah, that's my opinion. Stargard is going down in quality, in my opinion, in the last few years.
Oh.
So, with regard to weed and relationship problems, I don't know about that. I mean, certainly sometimes substances can come in the way of relationships.
But like legal or not, like is it possible people look, can being chronically on the stuff alter your personality, especially if you're a teenager or in your early 20s?
Probably, yeah.
Like
Alter your personality. If
like
you're a
if you need to get
teenager,
high every single day and
might
you
make you a
can't,
bit more kind of sedate and lonely if you're only hoping at home to get high or something all the time.
and then when you come off it, you can't be bothered dealing with people because the dopamine deficit or something. Because at the end of the day, like legal or not legal, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if your baseline is you're naturally depressive or traumatized, you take your tokes or whatever, however you take it, even if it's a little bit, every single time you return to that baseline, you feel worse. It seems like people, I mean, used to, I mean, that's the old perspective of it, you'd end up feeling more irritable. So it would take more to counterbalance the irritability. So you might need it more frequently throughout the week or whatever. So not only would it be probably presumably expensive or whatever, and then the legality of it making it harder back then.
Hello.
Do, does it like affect how you interact with people in an intimate way? Because some people go as far that it improves their intimate relationships, but
Yeah, weed and sex. Sex is supposed to improve orgasms for women, make them more likely to orgasm as well.
yeah, but what does it mean if you just dissociate more on for instance, maybe I'm not the norm, but I find that I end up staring. I get the 1,000 mile stare sometimes, but it could be the strain of it. Like I'm like gone, but it's more so for pain relief. So I'm not
Yeah.
doing it to dissociate.
So, what do you guys use your weed for? Like, my girlfriend's just saying she uses it for what?
Well, I use it for usually physical pain,
Physical
but
pain, yeah.
unfortunately, if I'm in a lot of mental pain, it just helps me dissociate. I'm just really hyper aware of the effects it has on my body, and sometimes I need even more because for instance, I'll be already dissociated because of a flashback, but then I'll take it and I'll
Yeah.
come back into my body. Then I'll realize, ow, my back hurts. Ow, I've got trapped nerve. Ow, my knee hurts. Ow, period pains. Ow, there's cramp. Ow, my feet and hands are ice cold. And so I have to like adjust a whole load of things because, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm thirsty because I was so dissociated from sitting in a flashback or dissociative state. I take a little bit,
Yeah.
it makes me come straight back into my body, which I feel temporarily good, but then a wave of pain happens. So then I get panic attack sometimes. So then after, in theory, I should take a little bit more because it's like I've become aware of my body all of a sudden. But my body is in tense, muscular knot kind of pain. So I have to take more for the physical pain, which is really annoying. And before you know it, but to level it all out, the physical and the mental pain, after a while I feel a bit, like zonked out. But it's not a
You
bad
just have to
thing.
find the right balance for you, what the right dosage is to mitigate your symptoms and
It
make you
sounds
feel better.
crazy, but taking a little bit sometimes makes me aware of how much more pain I'm in. So I seem to be a walking contradiction. I don't know if anyone else has these weird issues, but I don't think it's a strain. I have it on pretty much everything I can have.
So the question to you guys is, what do you use it for? Are you using it for pain? Are you using it for recreation, enjoyment, or are you just addicted and you can't stop no more?
Who the hell's? I mean, how do you even define who's just addicted and can't stop anymore?
Well, apparently cannabis is not actually as addictive as alcohol or cigarettes. So the addictiveness level is actually kind of low.
I had a friend though who was sucking on a bong every 2 minutes because he was given one, but he needed his fix. But he was addicted to smoking cigarettes, and maybe other addictive behaviors. And he was like, I had to pry the bong from his hands because his roommates, these people lived in sort of student style accommodation because one was in uni, one was working a job, and my friend was also working a job. But they couldn't deal with him because he wasn't living in reality. He just needed the bong 24/7, need to be high 24/7. And he believed he could move blinds with his mind's eye. And just like, no, you're just hallucinating. It's just, so I had to go over there and physically like talk him out of it and slowly get him just like, come on, man, like it's not gonna disappear.
Take the bong away. Take the bong away.
He just wouldn't do anything. Apparently, he was missing work and he wasn't doing anything. And I thought, like, well, how can you become so addicted that you don't want to face reality? Okay, maybe something's going wrong in your job. You're scared of your manager. Let's say hypothetically. I don't know. Why would
Can I just?
if you become that addictive, you
Jump
can't
in.
even pay to get it. You know, after a while. So you think it would keep you, you know, in the habit of paying for it, not escaping from life to do it. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Okay. So Josh says I use it for chronic pain from a burst eardrum. I had surgery. I had holes in my eardrum. That sounds painful
How?
and loud. Yeah, people that smoke spliffs from Corey. It's people that smoke spliffs and get. Let me start again. Yeah, people that smoke spliffs and say you get addicted to weed is wrong because you're not addicted to weed. It's the tobacco in their spliffs.
Yeah, because most of these people would be like cooked on
Very good,
tobacco.
Corey. You're right about that. I think.
Yeah.
Josh, I got a skin graft from my thigh to replace my eardrum. Wow. So Josh, if you've tried two medications, two all conventional treatments, for example, some form of physiotherapy or even psychotherapy, medications, trying to think of any other types of therapy that might be appropriate. You could be eligible for medical cannabis on that with that medical condition because chronic pain is one of the ones they treat. And if you haven't had a history of psychosis or schizophrenia and you have tried two conventional treatments that haven't worked, those are the main qualifiers for medical cannabis. So yeah, that's worth having a look into if you want to go on the legal side of things.
How many people do you have in your chat right now?
8.
Might not be much of a chance, but
I've tried counselling and 2 different types of medication for my mental health. Would be eligible for it. Yes. Have we not tried this already, Corey? Come on, man.
Does anybody?
You're even, you know, you're protected by the Disability, what's it called, Equality Act, in your housing. But you know, since your housing's got like a clean house rule about it, I don't know. But in housing in general, like landlords have to abide by the Equality Act, which states that for people who use medical cannabis, they must be allowed to use it in their private room without any fear of it being taken away from them, basically. So
I've got a good tip for workarounds for that.
So you're allowed to use it in buildings, homes.
You know what you can do if.
So you would be eligible for it, Corey. So have a look. Go find a clinic on MedBud that's appropriate, and then, you know, maybe if you do get on it, you might have to consider finding a house or housing association or a landlord or a flat or whatever that allows you, because in normal accommodations you should be protected by the Equality Act. I was going to ask you, Josh, about that, about your hearing. So you only have about 60% of your hearing back. Yeah, I was going to ask if it has affected it. I've had a bunch of things. I've had hearing aids, buds, and didn't like them. Yeah. This is proper handy to know. Good stuff. Well, I'm glad to be available to tell you these things, yeah. I have been looking into it. So yeah, Equality Act protects people in private accommodations from being disrupted from their medical cannabis use. So there you go. We're not getting very far in the legalized campaign, though, I'll tell you that much. Slow progress, but it You give it a few years, and we might be somewhere with it. But I'm only about 9, 10 months in. No, I'm about a year in actually.
This feng shui stuff is really depressing me.
She plays the bass and a little bit of guitar.
I used to be better at guitar when I used to do scales. Depression sucks the soul. Reading about
Cool. Good. Glad you're having a chill vibe.
does marijuana actually help with this for CPTSD?
It's like this all the time when I do my lives. There's a bit of music, a bit of chat, a bit more chat,
do you
bit of
wanna-
music.
Do you want to read this thing? You don't have to, or I could read it. It's about, that's why I'm extra careful with it. If you've got complex PTSD, it can get a bit iffy. Because if you already feel, just read that top comment there.
Does marijuana actually help?
Then the top comment
Okay.
has the same issue that I relate, which is I can't do it sometimes, even though I really want to, because it makes me want to burst into tears and this, because of all the repressed memories and stuff. So that statement there in the top comments.
Does marijuana actually help? I'm planning on getting a medical marijuana card because it's legal in my area, and I was wondering if anyone had any experience with it. This is from Reddit. Positive or negative, I just want to know what it's been like for others. Top comment is: it might seem weird or backwards, but weed grounds me and connects me to other parts I otherwise repressed. But this is a double-edged sword. The first time I smoked weed, I cried and processed a memory that came up. Previously, I hadn't felt emotionally connected to it at all. I didn't know I was holding that much emotion for that memory. I usually am very numb. Yeah. The bad thing about this for me personally, I can't smoke while in a vulnerable state because it will amplify my emotions, positive or negative emotions. I need to be careful with my setting and people around me. People say you don't dream on weed, but I dream every night and remember my dreams. Same with me. I think THC affects people in so many different ways. I wish science could have more studies done without bias, especially with traumatized or neurodivergent people. I would never have made as much progress without weed, to be honest. I would never have learned to identify emotions and get in touch with intuition. I would never have realized the extent of my numbness, but it is a double edged sword because I've smoked while in chaos and it turns into true chaos. Thank you. That's really good.
That's the exact things I have, the same issues where I can't do it if I'm having in the middle of an anxiety attack or an emotional flashback, or it amplifies the pre. I remember everything, but I feel it in my body. So I'm scared to. It's ridiculous because I know it will help, but I don't want to just cry for 4 hours straight. That's not normal. It gets annoying. It's exhausting.
Well, I'm a bit numb emotionally, and I find that the weed unnumbs me, denumbs me, brings back my sensitivities, my emotions, my feelings. I feel a lot more alive and a lot more connected in life. Um, that's mainly why I use it because I get a kind of flat emotional depression kind of feeling, and after that goes on for a bit of time, I start getting like really the numbness starts to affect me, kind of thing. Patrick Smith, hello. You finally caught a live. I don't think I've seen you on a live before, have I? Have you been here maybe once or twice before? Yeah. Well, anyway, welcome in. Patrick Smith's a regular commenter on the channel, watches pretty much everything I do. Thanks for coming. Hello, Shiva. Just watched your first video. Wow, young man then. I was a young man. I looked a bit like Keir Starmer in those old videos of Keir Starmer when he was younger. Yeah, just, something about that being young man face that looks a bit teenagey kind of thing. I've seen some videos of
The scientific
Keir Starmer looking very young.
The scientific studies, multiple, that prove that if you identify as an old crippled man, you age way faster. For those who identify as younger or feel young and continue to do youthful things and have that sort of newness, that zest for life, they've run tests on people in old people homes, for instance, and for this particular study, some people look 10 years younger than their other counterparts who identified as old. And that was just in an old person home. Their telomeres or whatever, how they measure them, were longer, whatever, the things that determine your lifespan. Another study was, I don't know how they did that, a bunch of children plopped on an island with no access to the outside world for a few decades. So they were like in their 20s or close to 30s. I don't know how they just took some children, plopped them on an island. Isn't that a bit unethical? But apparently these 30, they're like late 20s to early 30s. These people look like in their late teens because they hadn't been given information about the news, current affairs. They weren't like, they kind of vaguely, I'm not sure.
Well, so they looked younger.
Yeah. If you don't follow the news and you're not paying attention every 2 minutes to the passing of time.
Yeah.
So the year, the decade, the negative news media all the time. If you lived on an island,
okay, so time doesn't affect you as much.
So these 30-something or late 20s,
because time is a human construct,
look like 19-year-olds.
Time is a human construct.
It is a human construct. So, like, when you hear these stories of these really old people that don't even look that old, there's loads of people out there. You just don't hear about them because they're not walking around with a giant sign saying, I'm 81 years old, but look 60. Whatever.
So does weed make you look younger? Anyone?
I don't know. I don't think it does. But I'm just saying, if you just remember that next time you say, "Oh, I'm just an old dude," yeah, you're gonna age rapidly. If you're not the president or the prime minister.
So that's girlfriend in the background, Elena.
Yeah, Elena.
Yeah, Elena. So Patrick, you don't normally catch my videos, live videos, because you have a heavy workload. That's fair enough, man. You work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Hence, you missed the Saturday live. No worries. Who's talking in the background? His girlfriend.
I'm just a floating voice.
Yeah. It's the weed gremlin that's talking in the background. So, Patrick, you were enjoying some of my fruity videos today? Not to be rude, but she isn't getting younger. Oh, your mum's been smoking for 20 years. What, smoking weed, you mean? Smoking weed? I just recount a quick tale, if I may. So I went to London. Well, this is while I was homeless, actually. I was homeless living in London, wandering around, picking up weed off the floor and smoking it, and cigarettes, and finding food lying around on the side of benches and stuff, and eating it because I was homeless, and begging occasionally. Finding credit cards on the floor and using them.
You're making me hungry.
Occasional bits of cash on the floor and using it. And what happened? Oh, so there were loads of people smoking weed in London. It was like Piccadilly Circus area, Leicester Square, Piccadilly Circus, that kind of area. And I was just looking around and watching people smoking weed on the benches, kind of stone benches, and there was police officers around as well.
They didn't care, let me guess.
And they didn't care about the weed smokers for some reason. So I went up to one of the police officers. I was in a bit of a mad mood because I did have psychosis at the time anyway. But I went up to this police officer and I said, "Did you know that 99.9% of the people around here are all smoking crack?" And he went, "Smoking crack?" I went, so he went, "Smoking crack?" And I went, "No, they're smoking weed." Anyway, that was just like the police officer saying "smoking crack" just came into my head like. So there we go. Police officers leave you alone quite oftentimes if you're in public smoking weed. Anyone found that? Delicious. Hello, floating voice. Sorry, I wasn't being rude. I've just turned in. Just tuned in, I think. That's a tough time, man. Glad you've got yourself in a better place. Thank you. You always watch my videos. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the regular commenting as well. You know, it keeps me on the path when I get commenters.
I'm so damn depressed.
You're depressed? Take your meds.
Well, it's not. It's having a bit of an emotional flashback. I don't know if it's gonna make it better or amplify it. Like I feel too much sometimes. And having something that amplifies it. I don't want to feel every single organ doing everything inside my body, but that's not the norm. I know that. If you're neurodivergent, you have to take less than the average person sometimes. Other times, you might need to take more. It really depends on the individual, I think.
It's telling me there's no people here anymore. I don't know why that is.
Maybe I
don't think so. I think everyone's
I poked them off.
Everyone's been poked off.
Oh no. Or maybe it's you know it is. Everybody's eating.
Could be.
It's like 1955, so it's nearly 8. So people would literally be eating right now or shopping or
Oh, you are here. Okay, cool.
Or maybe watching TV, I don't know.
Well, it's the end of the hour there, people, so thank you for showing up. Truly support the cause, my friend. Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel it. So like I say, we are trying to legalize recreational adult use cannabis in the UK. So do whatever you can from your side of it to promote the idea of that into the public consciousness, whether that's posting, whether that's videos, whether that's writing on a website somewhere, whether it's just talking to people, whether it's...
You know, it's to do with what you're talking about in some of your videos earlier. Even though the comment's 2 years old, look what it's saying. The comment's 2 years old. The one
For what it's worth, endocannabinoid deficiencies are implicated in the pathology of PTSD. Yeah.
And that's 2 years old.
There you go. Legalize the herb. Legalize
So
cannabis.
the last line is beating someone up for using crutches has never helped anyone learn how to walk.
Okay.
Well, in other words, you can't. It's to do using as an analogy
So, like I say, like
for self-medicating.
sign the petitions, post away, keep your conversations, have conversations about it with people if you can. Bring up the legalization of cannabis as much as possible. If you're on X or any Facebooks or anything, or if there's any way of you being able to get in touch with politicians, for example, posting on their feeds or messaging them or emailing them, writing to them. Some people even manage to call up like HQs and get in touch with politicians by like the Labour HQ or Lib Dem HQ or whatever. So yeah, that's the end of it. I will see you tomorrow at 7. Good night.
Yeah, read this. The